I don't know how else to put this. Coaches make a lot of money, and their jobs are hard. With that in mind, Colin, could you show me the Adam Schefter tweet from yesterday? Because this had a lot of people up in arms. So Adam Schefter, he covers the NFL for ESPN. He said, a trend that has emerged this winter is many college coaches are tired of the transfer portal, the NIL money, and the new NCAA world, and prefer to work in the NFL. Many college coaches already have left. Many more want to. Now, if you know college football, that doesn't come as a huge shock to you, and I've articulated that to you many times that a lot of coaches have shared that with me as well, and I've shared it on the show. So this conversation has totally gone off the rails because the nature of this world is now a lot of people talk college football year-round. That's a good thing. We didn't used to have a lot of that. That's a good thing. The downside to that is if there are not games happening, there tends to be this massive echo chamber where at any given point there are 2 or 3 relevant topics and everyone's talking about the same topic. So we were talking about this for a while on this show, and I'll reiterate my thoughts in a second. But when I've spoken out about this, I've said, hey, the schedule sucks right now. And coaches are being stretched really thin, and they don't get hardly any time to actually focus on ball and to coach and sharpen and hone their craft, and burnout is real. Those are the things I've said. I don't think it's great for the sport. That's what I've said. Okay. Period. Then there is this other contrarian group of people who it doesn't matter what they hear said. If they hear a chorus sung in unison, they are going to sing another tune just for the sake of singing another tune, which is not the worst thing in the world because at least it diversifies the library of thoughts out there. Well, what they've done, the contrarian class over here, is they've listened to people say things like I was saying there, which is schedule's not good right now. I think coaching burnout is real. I do think that guys at our level are trying to get out to a higher percentage degree than they have in the past. I don't think there's enough time to be focused on ball right now because of all the other mess that's around the world of coaching, and that's what I've said. Then the contrarian class says, look at everyone freaking out about this. I'm not freaking out about it. It's not worth freaking out about. Oh, look at everyone presenting this as a crisis. It's not a crisis. Never use the word ever to discuss this. It's not a crisis. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, problems facing this sport, it's probably about a 4. If I'm being real with you, probably about a 4. Oh, look at him fear-mongering. A guy driving to work in Des Moines, Iowa, this does not impact his life. Maybe he's interested in it, maybe he's not, but he's just a college football fan. And I just happen to be talking about it because our traffic shows enough of you care about this that I'll touch on it every now and then. There's no freak out. There's no freak out. There's no crisis. It's just something that I think matters because I would prefer not to see good people leave this game because they don't recognize the game anymore. That's it. So there's been a loud enough chorus of people complaining and some coaches complaining that some other coaches have started to chime in on the other side. So it's no different than in our world. In our world, you got folks like me who say one thing, then you got other folks who come out and mock it and they say the other thing, oftentimes badly miscontextualizing what you said to begin with. Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, friend of the program, new head coach out there at Arizona State. Well, he's been there a year. He was talking yesterday and said, quote, I think you have to hire people that love coaching. I joke around, but do you know how many people want my job? Like, do you know how many people want my assistant jobs and my analyst jobs and the quarterback and GA jobs? So don't complain about what we do. You're blessed. There's a lot of negative to it, yes. But do you know how many people want to be a college football coach? I literally spent 9 years of my life doing anything to become a coffee boy. So don't give me the, oh, it's hard to be a coach right now. Yeah, it's hard. Quit then. Like, that's how I look at it. I got no problem with that. The reason I mentioned the Kenny Dillingham quote is because I looked in my inbox and a lot of you sent me that quote and said, wow, he disagrees with you. Kenny Dillingham's not disagreeing with me because he didn't refute anything I've said. You are extremely privileged and blessed to be a college football coach. You're making a ton of money, and people who work extremely hard jobs in their own right, making fractions of what you make, tune in to watch you on Saturdays. You live a dream life. By some of their metrics. So yes, you're blessed. You get to coach a game for a living. Absolutely you do. And if it does get too hard, quit. is the best advice that you can give someone. I got no problem with that attitude. And I think it's a reactionary attitude instead of one that Dillingham just wants to go around popping off at the mouth about. But I will say this, as much as Kenny Dillingham made some good points there, I'll stand by everything I've said in that you can have that opinion, but also be talking about something that is a problem. May not be a massive problem, but it is a problem. Circumstances are either good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, there are three options here. It's either a 10 on the negative, all the way to a 0, to a 10 on the positive, and somewhere on that scale is every circumstance. And right now, I would say that the circumstance of the December schedule and calendar, which they're trying to address even today as we speak, and coaching burnout, I think it's an issue to a varying degree that's plaguing college football right now, and there is no reason for it to be. So a problem is a problem, and even if one person's pointing it out or 10,000 people are pointing it out, it doesn't change the fact that it's a problem if it is. Now, if it's your opinion it's not a problem, or if it's your opinion that, hey, all of them can quit for all you care, you do real work, and there'll be football coaches until the end of time. I've never disagreed with that either. I'll say this, though. You'd never have a problem filling coaching jobs. My question has always been, are you filling those jobs with qualified candidates? Like, you can wipe out any highly competitive industry of the top names, and sure, you'll backfill them no problem. You could do it just like that. Is it quality across the board like you have? I mean, if I were to wipe out every Major League Baseball player right now, call it a strike, for example, you can get replacement players. They tried it before. It sucked. You know why? The replacement players weren't as good as the real deal. That's why they have things called triple, double, and single A in Major League Baseball. So I've never doubted that. Is it the most sage approach to look at a problem and instead of trying to address the problem, just say, oh, screw it. If they don't like it, they can leave and we'll get folks to take their place? Is that really the most logical approach? Now, I don't think that's what Kenny Dillingham's saying. What Kenny Dillingham's saying is, I have worked my tail off, and now I get to this point, and I'm not the one complaining, and a bunch of y'all fools who are already financially set 10 times over are the ones complaining, and you're not even doing it yourselves. You're getting mouthpieces in the media to do it, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm only echoing what a lot of these guys have told me. So in a sense, I'm a mouthpiece right now for coaches when I talk about this, because I'm sure not coaching a team. I'm just the chancellor at Pate State. I don't coach the team day to day. So I think that rubs a lot of coaches the wrong way. And if it does, it does. It's not the worst thing in the world for guys to disagree on things in this sport. It's not the worst thing in the world.